Good morning. Welcome to Books at the Bottom of the Stairs. My name's Lorene. I am going to attempt a travel issue. My friend and I, my friend Karen and I traveled along the Lighthouse route here in Nova Scotia, and we hit four bookstores, a restaurant, and a pottery shop. And so I've taken the videos in sections, and I'm going to talk about the books in order of having purchased them, hopefully with the right bookstore, and hopefully it will all become merged at the end. So yeah, let's see what happens. The first bookstore that we went to, you will see the sign of right now. This is a new to me bookstore and new to Karen as well. I think they've been around for a couple of years. It just hasn't registered for me because I haven't been in Mahone Bay for a couple of years, except, quick drive-throughs. And, to really, if you're ever in Nova Scotia, it really is a sweet little town. There's lots of little stores. I wouldn't go there it's not that the food is bad, there just aren't a ton of restaurants, and if it happens to be a crowded summer day, then it'll be crowded there. So yeah, Lunenburg for me is the place to go if you want to do a summer eating experience. So anyways, we stopped into this really cute little bookstore. The proprietor was really nice. It was so carefully orchestrated with the crochet and the books and so on. And yeah, I just loved it. So what was the books that I got there? I just finished organizing it. Well, I was organized and then I wasn't, but you guys don't know that. So I picked up two books there. The first one is Michael Crummy and Flesh and Blood. Now, I enjoy Michael Crummy. He can be a bit hard, a bit abrasive. And my Reading Across Canada book club has said they're done with Michael Crummy. They don't enjoy his, which, I guess the direness of the situations or the I think abrasive. I think that's a really okay word to use to describe Michael Crummy. He really tells a great story. He's got great imagination. There's always something happening, but it's not a feel-good book. Although the stories stay with me, so it's to me he's really a resounding author in that regard. He's from Newfoundland, I believe, and the ones that we have read was The River Thieves and I think The Innocents, but I have also read Galore, and I'm pretty sure I read Sweetland. But anyways, he's just a really good author from my point of view. So this goes in the summer pile. The next one I picked, now I saw this when it went around YouTube. It was really just the thing to buy. It's a graphic novel. It's about dragons that have something to do with tea. I wasn't really... I was kind of captured by the notion of it at the time, but at that moment, I was also not very interested in graphic novels. So since then, I've read a few and have decided, they can be fun, but I don't really like to invest my money in them because I find them so fleeting. However, I did promise myself on this trip that I was going to spend a little bit of money in each bookstore. So this was the second book I picked up, and I'll probably put it in the donations pile just because it's so kid-friendly. I think there'll be a lot of little books, free library books around that will enjoy that. Okay, the next bookstore that we went into was called I think it's called the Block Shop. Yeah, I always forget their name. They had a really good name when they first opened, and then for various reasons they had to change it, and I've lost the receipt here. So, does it say on the back? Block Shop Books. There we go. It's in Lunenburg, and I liked it more a couple of years ago. I think since then it has become a little bit ordinary. In a sense, there's a lot of books that you will find in other bookstores, but what it does do that I do appreciate is focuses on a lot of local authors or people or books that are about Nova Scotia, and I think that they're doing some collaborations with people who are independent book authors. What do you call this? Independent book people. Self-publishing. That's what I'm trying to say. Self-publishing. So so as we came in the door, there is a little shelf that features a couple of books facing you immediately, and I saw this one, and I laughed, and I said to my friend, "That's meant for me." Look at that kid. That is me so often. I am pretty busy, and I do keep myself, entertained quite well. But if I'm off, I am just like that kid. And so I haven't read this yet. We are going to be reading Bored by Felicita Sala as a read aloud, probably this week. Steve's pretty busy on the first 2 nights of the week. And yes, I have done this. And not that long ago. So I can totally relate to this kid. I can't wait to read it and find out. Now, the next one I found was in the middle grade readers, and this is new to me, totally a cover purchase. There's a couple of really, I love a good building, and it looks a little bit spooky, and this sort of arrangement of house and characters has been on a few covers that I've enjoyed, so I'm going entirely by the cover. A witch's curse, a hidden treasure, a wizard in fluffy slippers. 9 is an orphan pickpocket with nothing to her name, but she plucks a beautiful ornament from someone's purse. She's sure her luck is about to change. So we're going to go with it. It's by Amy Sparks with an E, and I think it'll be kind of good. There's also a greenhouse, and looks like an ogre in the window, and there's bats flying around, so I have high hopes. Now, another girlfriend of mine, we were in the car just a couple of days previous to this road trip, different girlfriend, and we were going to the beach, and we got talking about the lupins. The lupins in the roadsides of Nova Scotia had just finished dying off. And there's about a 2-week period where the lupins are stunning along the highways, and they're different shades of purple and mauves, and occasionally a white, occasionally a really nice strong pink, and then they're gone. But they leave behind just this green swath of stuff until the fall comes and other things become more prominent. So we were talking about this book, and we had both read it when we were younger, and then we encountered it again when we were parents, young kids. When was this originally planted? It wasn't planted. 1982. So it has been around for a long time. And if you don't know, this is a story based on a woman who really did go around tossing seeds up and down the roadsides and so forth. But I believe it took place in Maine, in New England, if you like. So I really don't know whether our lupins arrived the same way, or if someone took it into a head to do that too. Maybe the roadsides decided that the people who, do the mowing and stuff, I don't know who actually put that many lupins in our province. But this is a story of Miss Rumphius who travels. And when she travels, she meets people all around the world who've done good things for her community. And she decides when she gets home that she's going to do something good for her community. And this is what she settles on. So it's a cute little story, and it's beautifully illustrated. That's her going around. So this is going to be a birthday present for my girlfriend in November. Hopefully I remember.
Hours. I should take a picture of you this time.
After Block Shop, we went across the road to a place called the Salt Shaker, and we were just ahead of the crowd. And we had a really lovely lunch, and then we crossed the road to Lunenburg Bound, which is a favorite bookstore of Steve's. We go every August for his birthday, and I guess one of the things I did in both the Block Shop and Lunenburg Bound is I didn't look too carefully, because I knew that we would be get there again in August. So I thought, yeah, I want to wreck it and have buy everything in the store. So in the Block Shop, I didn't check the adult fiction section and the new releases. And in Lunenburg Bound, I didn't look at the new releases in nonfiction or the adult fiction sections. I went in the used area. And then they have this one of those little spinny guys, and it features this publisher. And I've shown you these before. They've got the pretty little insides, and they've got the gold foiling. And somewhere in here, there's going to be a ribbon bookmark. Yep, there we go. There we go. And so every once in a while, I just stick my head and see, what's new, because it isn't so much that they've published new stuff. It's just that I never know what's going to be on that whirligig. And I've always wanted to read writings by Katherine Mansfield. I probably have somewhere along the way, but just, I haven't made it a concentrated thing. So this is her short stories, and I guess one of the more famous one called Prelude, which, I have no idea. So it's going to be a fun little, probably in the winter. I think I have two others of these, Antonia and the Harlem Renaissance writers that I would like to read first. So I'm going to tuck this one away, and that'll be a nice thing to read in winter afternoons. In the used section, I came across this. All the Birds Rained Down. What was it? And the Birds Rained Down by Jocelyne Saucier, translated by Rhonda Mullins. This is a Canadian book, and this is the book that got me going on the story that I have never told about going to the university to take French. I wanted to read this in translation. I was convinced, given how fluent I was when I left in grade 13, that a year's worth of university French would get me kicking. It was really not a good story. Anyways, I came away from it really no further ahead. Perhaps I might even be traumatized to the point where some French is completely submerged. So I saw this there, and I thought, it's in English. I'm going to just give up. I'm going to read it in English. I'm so looking forward to this. It's one of my more anticipated reads, because I've been heard about it, then did a year of French, and now it's another 6 months on, almost 2 years I've been waiting to read this book. Deep in northern Ontario forest live Tom and Charlie, two octogenarians determined to live out the rest of their lives on their own terms. But their solitude is disrupted by the arrival of two women. The first is a photographer searching for survivors of a series of catastrophic fires nearly a century earlier, and the second is an elderly escapee from a psychiatric institution. The little hideaway in the woods will never be the same. And so this is definitely a summer gotta read it book. Now, I thought I was still in the used section, but I had turned a corner and I was in the new section. And I thought this was an old book, and I thought it had something to do with is it Becky someone or Becca someone who does the planets? Oh, it's just gone right out of my far away an angry planet or something. Anyways, because of the font and the way this was all designed, I thought, oh, maybe that's her. But no, The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley, a novel. So I picked it up, not really meaning to, and I don't know what it's all about, but it says, a boy meets a girl. The past meets the future. A finger meets a trigger. The beginning meets the end. Now, this would ordinarily not be something that Then where did I find it? I think it's one of Barack Obama's. Somewhere in here it says one of Barack Obama's favorite reads from last year. Now that would ordinarily not be a motivator for me. Not because I dislike Barack Obama, but I don't really care what other people read. So, yeah, it's an ingeniously imagined, hilarious romp through time, space, and the human heart that announces an exhilarating new voice in contemporary fiction. So I guess it must be a debut novel, too. So that'll be kind of fun to see what she's like. And I have been reading a lot about space travel, not... I mentioned this the last time I did a video, how sometimes books come into your lap and they all have a theme. So there seems to be, for me, a little trickle of time travel happening. So, yeah. So this is also in my summer pile of things to read. Okay, the last bookstore we went to was the La Have bookstore. And when we first came to Nova Scotia, 30 years ago, this space is amazing. I'm sure you, when you see it, just look at those windows. Have always been there. It's always had that view. But it used to be a chandler's shop, and so as you move away from the back windows and go more to the front of the road, in between has been for the longest time a cooperative gallery for different kinds of artists. And I came across a textile artist. Well, these are going to have a glare on them. Because they're still in their envelopes and I'm lazy. But I just thought they were... Oh, that's a different artist. I just thought they were really sweet. And... I loved the owl. But then, wait till you get a see of this one. Yeah, and two more. So I picked those up. And then as you go... even closer to the road, what you come across, well, upstairs has been numerous things, and I used to do a weaving course there every summer for a couple of years, and sometimes it's been a hostel, and sometimes it's been a skateboard. He might even still be there. There was a skateboard fellow on the third floor who makes the boards, and then they would skate around on the top. So while we were weaving, we'd be going, and below is the bakery, and the bakery's on the ground floor and sort of in the basement. And that bakery's been there for ages. And yeah, some of the food's really good. It's up and down. It depends on what you like. They have really good different kinds of pickles and jams, and I like some of the stuff, but it's really a destination spot. Now, how you get there from Lunenburg is you have to drive to the La Have River, and then you take a little ferry across that takes 5 minutes. It's the cutest ferry ever. And then you come off the ferry ramp, turn left, and park, and you're at the La Have Bakery, which for Karen had never been on this ferry. She's been in Nova Scotia as long as I have, and she's been at the La Have bookshop multiple times, and it's just not a part that she had done. And I think she'd eaten things at the bakery that were part of book launches and so forth. And Steve and I, on the way home from the camp, quite often will stop there and pick up some granola or something, and then take the ferry back and continue to Halifax, because this is a really nice stretch of road. We stopped in. I was gobsmacked because this bookstore, I like, it's one of the most beautiful bookstores I've ever been in aesthetically. And it seems to be a real rockin' spot. They're always doing book launches and author visits, and they have a piano. They've got a big dining table, so workshops, and anyone can play the piano anytime they want. And yeah, it's a really fun. Plus, there's a gorgeous view. And so afterwards, Karen and I went up to the bakery, and she got a coffee, and I got a chocolate brownie. And we sat outside of the bookshop and just looked at the water, and you'll see a little clip of Karen with her purchase. But I came across Susan Juby, who for me is an automatic buy. Now, I haven't bought her mystery novels. And this one, I think, is not a mystery. Well, it might be. She's a Buddhist butler and a reluctant investigator. Helen Thorpe bands together with her fellow butler school graduates to rescue her very wealthy employer and his son on this new mystery by bestseller author Susan Juby. So, yeah, it's fun. I find her quite amusing. She's written some books that I really recommend over and over again. The one that I recommend the most often is the Wofield Poultry Collective, which I gather is somewhat autobiographical in that she inherits a farm from an uncle, and on this farm there are a couple of people who are pretty stressed out by society, and they've been given permission to live there as long as possible. She can't really sell the farm until these people have been rehoused or settled in some fashion, and so in the story she's got to do that, but they start to get together as a found family, and I think it's probably one of the first books I ever came across that dealt with found family so specifically. Oh man, I laughed, and I really, she's got another one for not middle grade, young adults, which again, my God, I was homeschooling at the time, and this character was a homeschooled girl who was going to high school for the first time. Laughed and laughed. The next one, too, I picked up is actually, this is the one that I grabbed first, A Season for Spies by Iona Whishaw, and it's called a Lane Winslow prequel. And I thought, well, if there's a prequel, there's got to be a first, and this was kind of short, so I did get A Killer in King's Cove, which is the first in the series. No idea. Total speculation. Why did I pick it? I don't know. I guess, you know what? Sometimes a book sells itself just based on its appearance and the way it was positioned in the bookshop. It was a collection of the whole series, and each one is just really, nicely presented and it feels nice. And I just thought, oh, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. And I'm looking to see. Yeah, she's Canadian. Wow, she's Canadian. I love it. So that's pretty much everything. After we finished that, we went across to a pottery store and Karen purchased something. And we were then supposed to go up to Bridgewater where Good Dog Bookstores is located. But by then we were pretty done. We didn't quite make it. And if we had got there, we would have had about 15 minutes before the store closed. And so we just decided next time we won't have pottery to shop for. And will we skip another one? No. I think we'll just have to start a little bit earlier. But the first bookstore doesn't open till 10. And then the last one closes at 5. So maybe we won't eat. No. Okay, so I guess that's it for me. I hope all the technology worked on this, and I hope all your reading dreams and adventures come true. I'll see you next time.